The 6-year-old guy at the hospital. I was in a part of a ward with two elderly men. One was around 60 and the other man was around 90. However, he was almost asleep around the clock. He was on morphine drips, and the 6-year-old man was capable of walking about. That man was sleeping directly across from me. Anyways, at around 11:15 p.m., when people started to sleep, the 6-year-old man went to the toilet. He was on the drip, so he brought it with him. When he was finished, I was almost certain. Actually, scratch that. I was certain that he went back to his bed straight away. The bed was in a sealed off corner, so there was no exit. I was in bed and had difficulty sleeping. 10 to 15 minutes later, the bathroom door opened up, and a man who looked different from the 6-year-old man and was wearing pajamas came out. This man didn't look like a ghost at all. However, he definitely looked older than 6 years old. Around 70, I would guess. He had more wrinkles around his cheeks, and his face just looked different overall. He also didn't have a drip with him, which was definitely odd, since the 6-year-old man did have a morphine drip with him at the time. I looked at the man, and he gave me a stern look back, like I was frowning at him for going to the toilet this late. The man then walked in the direction of the 6-year-old man's bed. Again, there was no exit where this man was going. I was laying down in my bed with my knees up, so I didn't look at the man going all the way back to his bed or laying down. I would also state that the 6-year-old man was a friendly individual, so it would have been like him to give such a stern look like this man gave to me. At the time, it didn't seem like a paranormal encounter, but again, it was very odd. He was walking like he'd just been healed, and no morphine was attached to him. A close passed away friend tries to connect with me. Hey all, I would like to start by saying I'm skeptical of the paranormal. I don't have anyone I can't tell this to, and I feel like I have to get this off my chest to anyone who will hear me out. So just bear with me. Since my husband and I have been together, he has a rule that no matter what, angry, sad, relentless, whatever, we go to bed together. One recent Sunday evening, my husband and I got into a pretty bad, and it was late. For the first time ever, I slept in our spare room alone. That night at around 3 to 4 a.m., my eyes suddenly popped open. I was laying on my left side facing the wall away from the door, and I felt like someone was in the room. I immediately thought it was my husband coming to check on me since I rolled over only to see no one in the room. I instantly tried to go back to sleep and then had an inner conversation with myself like this: something's wrong. No, nothing is. You're wrong. I'm wrong. You're you're overtired, upset. Uh, go to sleep. You have to be up in a couple hours. So I closed my eyes again, but I felt extremely sad and anxious and couldn't shake it. Seriously? Something isn't right. What the hell is it? My body is literally buzzing, and not your typical I'm scared feeling, but almost as if you're on the edge of a cliff and feel like you're about to fall. Am I about to die? Shut up. That's so really ridiculous. Don't start thinking like that shit right now. What if something is wrong with one of the kids right now? Oh no, as my head continued with just thoughts like this nonstop, I told myself to shut up. I decided to ignore whatever it was and wrote it off as just me being overtired. Mind and I never paid any more attention to it. Fast forward to Wednesday, I got a text from a friend asking me, "Oh my god, what happened to H? He died." This was a dear friend of mine whom I shared 10 years with that were full of adventures and nothing but good times. We also shared a bond, a strong connection I never expected with anyone else. I was heartbroken to hear the news. Later that evening, my husband and I went out for a drive. I wanted out of the house, but not to be in any type of social setting. Anyways, this song comes on the radio. I'm hearing for the first time, and the very instant it began to play, my body does that same buzzing feeling again, and I immediately thought to myself, this reminds me of H. How strange, considering I'd only just begun to hear it. But whatever though, it's not uncommon to hear a song and have it remind you of someone. Something in my head kept telling me to Shazam the song, so I did. I listened to it about a couple times throughout the following days, and every single time my body did that weird buzzing feeling, I paid no real attention to it. The morning of his funeral, I was cooking breakfast, and the kids were loud while waiting. My mood was irritable. Understandably so, I grabbed my earbuds and shoved them in my ears and started playing the song so I could tune the kids out for a minute. Again, my body does that buzzing thing, but this time it's really strong. It honestly annoyed me. What the fuck is the song? I glanced down at the screen and paid attention to the lyrics, which said, left another note saying, "See you next time, miss me if you don't. You look good in your bed. Till we meet again, you went through my head." Upon hearing and reading that, my whole body immediately rushed with feelings when you're excited, or someone you really like and you get those butterflies in your stomachs. so overwhelming fuming. It wasn't that buzzing, but I still felt it very, very strong. That's when I pulled out my earbuds. That's when I put all of these events together, and I thought back to Sunday, which was the day he took his life. I can't help but wonder if that was a perfect coincidence, or was that his way of saying goodbye. I used to give him a hard time, but we never took pics together before smartphones. And he played it off. We didn't need pics to have memories. I was leaving for his funeral when a girl I hadn't seen in 11 years came running up to me, and she gave me the only picture of H and I together. Anyways, I've rambled on enough. Either way, I'll take comfort to this. My dad's last goodbye. Death. It fucking sucks. My father passed away on Tuesday night, and it was the toughest thing I've ever had to bear and witness to. We were a small family, 2 parents, 2 siblings, my mother, my brother, and I decided to pull life support Tuesday night and watch my father go gently into the night as we stood around and watched him take his final breaths. I held his cold left hand, my brother on his right, while my mom gripped his feet over the blanket. His heart rate slowly dropped from 90s on the way down until just flatlined as his heart took his final beat. My mother took notice of the time. 11:27 p.m. We hugged each other, crying, and promised to stay together and get through this. We didn't, however, notify my brother's wife about his passing because she wasn't at home with 3 kids. And had just seen Dad a couple hours earlier. We decided we would tell her in person as we were leaving the hospital shortly afterwards. We got there. She said the baby's room was extremely cold around 11:30. This was moments before she knew he passed. My brother and his wife had 2 children of their own. 2 boys aged 14 months and a 7-week-old infant. My dad was a very loving grandfather. These 2 boys, with the full strength of his love like only a grandfather could. We told her the news, and everybody sat in the living room downstairs, crying, making plans and arrangements, and talking about my dad. During this time, the 2 boys were upstairs asleep until the older one woke up and was crying. My sister-in-law went to go check on him and was shocked to find that he had been perfectly wrapped in his blanket. just the way Grandpa used to wrap him. He also stopped crying before my sister-in-law made it to the room. She didn't wrap him like that when she put him to bed. In fact, she didn't wrap him at all because he normally just kicks off the blanket anyway. There was no way he wrapped himself up like that, and my sister-in-law swears up and down that's how she found him. She's an honest, straight shooting person and would definitely never lie about anything. I honestly think Dad went in there to take care of his grandbaby one more time to let us know he's there and that love endures beyond death. Edit. Thanks for all the warmth and kindness, folks. You are awesome. Reddit has always been a source of comfort when I needed it, and you all make me feel just that much better around this. We're all getting through it, one day at a time. Edit 2. Just found out from my mother that my dad would see his deceased brothers, sisters, and parents frequently in a dream and while awake before he got really sick this last hospitalization. He would tell my brother that the dreams were very clear and asked her why she thought he was expecting that. Mind you, he was doing really well during this time. The best he's done in over a year. My appetite was coming back. He was gaining weight and was much more active than before. His final words were to my mother, and they were, "It's my time. I told you, it's my time to go." That was right before his cardiac arrest 1 week ago on Sunday, and 15 minutes after. I called to talk to him for the last time ever. Edit 3. Wow, this really blew up more than I ever thought. I can't reply to all of you, but I want to tell you that I sincerely appreciate the condolences and the stories you've shared. It's really comforting to read all about the beautiful things our loved ones do for us when they cross over. Thanks again to every one of you.